Welcome to The Pulse with Peter B. I'm your host, Peter Biancamano. Let's get you to the pulse on everything you need to know. And we're here at the beautiful Pilsener Haus and Biergarten. Come visit our friends at 1422 Grand Street. Have that iconic pretzel. Have the iconic brats here. You got to have that iconic beer. But today we're going to surprise you with other iconic dishes at the beer garden, and a person to my right is becoming an icon of the Pulse, and that is, of course, back for the second week in a row, Daria Peace of At Hoboken Eats. Great to see you again.
We're like 2 for 2 this year.
Right?
I love it.
Exactly. Because I didn't want to say Delucia.
Yeah, we miss it.
We miss it.
But we love peace.
We do love peace.
We do love peace.
We do love peace. And you know, I felt bad last week, Daria, and I'll tell you why. Because we were talking about all of these new establishments coming out, and we were talking about all the food and so on and so forth, and I didn't feed her, and she's eating for two now with baby Peace in the belly. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what did I do? I redeemed myself
And
this week.
did you know that this is the one thing that I've been craving all the time?
Of course I knew that.
It's a good cheeseburger.
You know, I just have the sense. You know what I mean? The Hoboken Eats sense.
Of course.
You know, exactly. So you said cheeseburgers, but I think only one's a traditional cheeseburger. What else do we have here?
We are trying all of the things, all the type of burgers. So you can't say that you don't like burgers and you can't come here because they have something for everyone. We got the regular cheeseburger, we have the Impossible Burger, and then down here we have the turkey burger.
She put the turkey burger in front of me because she knows I don't eat red meat.
Exactly, but I will eat all three of them.
Probably right on camera. Stay tuned. So, and Daria, that's what really makes the Pilsner House really special because, you know, you have the pretzel here.
Yeah.
You have, of course, the brats, you know, and remember when Daria did the brat off with Krista? Did you lose that one?
Yeah, I lost that one.
I was going to say, I thought you lost that one. She did. But you can come here and also have a solid burger.
You can. And we have learned that coming here, there's a lot of different foods you can get. We've done a lot over the summer. Come here for those refreshing watermelon salads.
Remember that?
We had some burrata here. And now, obviously, coming into, January and the new year and my 6-month pregnancy, I want to eat burgers all the time. So
Exactly. Who's counting?
Yeah.
Exactly. All right. So we're going to let you dig right in. And we actually are going to test her out a little bit because we actually have her having the stick mic this time and not the usual lavalier microphone because we want to see that mess. We have some napkins here. I might pull them away from you. What are you going in for
There's
first?
been too many messes on this show already. I don't think that people need to see any more food spilling down or me choking. But
yeah, listen, and you know, it used to just wipe right down onto the floor,
Just
but
a
now you have a
fall.
little bump
Yeah.
here.
So
Go ahead, talk to me.
I have no shame. So it is what it is. We're just gonna
Amen.
we're gonna get right into it. I am going to slightly move this over a little bit.
Slightly move it over. That's totally fine.
We are going to go right in here. So we have the regular cheeseburger. It comes with a nice little side salad. It looks like a little vinaigrette we have going on here.
Very
and
cool.
for anyone who can't see, this is massive and huge, but this is a challenge that I love to take on.
Oh,
so, all right,
there she
let's go right in.
Challenge accepted. Here she goes for the bite. Daria Peace, formerly DeLucia. Wow, that was some bite. Oh, all she said is And I have to tell you, we were talking before the segment started while she chews because we don't want her to choke. You know, I do know CPR. I mean, that'll be some footage for.
No, thank you.
Oh, boom.
All right. First of all, this is fantastic. This is your most standard put together burger, right? You have your cheese, you have your burger, you have your onion, your lettuce, and your tomato. But somehow, it is so freaking good.
And it's so thick.
It's so thick. I am the kind of person, and guys don't come for me because I like to taste the meat inside my sandwiches and burgers, but I usually take half the bread off just so I can really taste the innards. This doesn't need it. This bread gives it so much flavor, and the burger is so thick. You almost need both ends of the bun to keep it all together and get that perfect bite.
That is awesome.
This is fantastic. I am not sharing this with anybody else who is behind the
Sorry,
camera.
crew.
Yeah, sorry, crew. I usually share. This is all mine after that.
And I have to tell you, what better way to, I guess, accompany the burger than having a side salad,
yeah.
right?
Well, let's not forget about the two other French fries
we'll
we
get
have
to that.
here.
We'll get to that. Easy goes. So what I was saying was, though, we were talking off camera about, how the preparation for the food here can sometimes take a little time, but that's okay because they're making it fresh.
never have had a bad meal here, and the food always comes out warm if it's meant to be warm. It always comes out, honestly, fantastic. This right here, they even charred the top of the bun a little bit, which to me, that's like a minor detail that if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. Like it's a hit or miss thing, but the keen eye always notices those things.
Let's see if your eye notices something else, because we're going to move on to the next one.
Okay.
Now, Daria, I have a bone to pick with the Impossible Meat companies.
Okay.
My thing is, if I want to have meat, I will have meat. Why do I have to have something that tastes like meat that's not meat? Correct?
Fair.
Now,
Fair.
I'm sure you think differently.
I am open to trying something new.
And have you ever tried Impossible?
No.
Oh, wow.
Another exclusive.
A Pulse exclusive. I love it. And I'm tucking on my hands and getting excited over here. Exactly. All right. We're going to ask you to dig right in. This is the Impossible Burger here at the Pilsener Haus and Biergarten, of course, accompanied with these awesome French fries. And now,
first look, I will say we are getting that nice thick burger, and it looks like we have either some blue cheese or gorgonzola on here, which
that's exactly what it is.
really gets me going too. So I'm excited.
She's super excited. I gotta be honest with you. I thought with the whole microphone fiasco tonight, I wanted to challenge her. She's not even getting challenged right now. Talk to me. Okay, first question I want to ask. Does it taste like meat?
No.
Why?
I don't taste exactly what I tasted in that burger. However, I feel like I'm eating meat.
Okay.
Which I feel like is the point of it.
I was going to say, is it more of a mental thing?
I think
You're thinking that it's going to taste like beef?
You can still have the burger.
Right.
And I'm not saying, I can't identify exactly what tastes. The blue cheese is really strong.
Right.
Which I love the taste of blue cheese. So that, I feel like I'm eating a burger. And if I didn't just come from that, I think I would have just thought this was a burger.
All right, Daria, we're moving on to the final burger here at the Pilsener Haus and Biergarten. And this is a burger that I actually would devour. Is that the way they say it in the Jersey? You went to Monmouth University. Is that the way they say it at the Jersey Shore?
Devour.
Devour. This is what?
This is the turkey burger, and this is all mine also.
Oh, no.
Okay. All right.
Talk to me.
Again, off first glance, what I'm seeing is a burger that is bigger than a Snicker. My goodness, this thing is a mouthful.
Bigger than a Snicker.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is probably Swiss cheese on here. Maybe we're gonna test it out, but you're getting your classics on here as well. You have the onion, lettuce, and tomato.
So I couldn't surprise you because I couldn't blindfold you, I should say, because I just feel bad because you have a bun in the oven. So I wanted
How thoughtful.
exactly. I wanted you to at least guess the cheese is on there, but she's not doing a poor job of it. That's okay. As she bites into the burger and cannot respond to me. I absolutely love it. Oh, that's a okay. All right. Talk to me. What do you try?
My goodness, I haven't had a turkey burger in a long time. That is so dang good. The Swiss cheese is perfectly melted on there, and I have to say, for all of these burgers, they are not skimping on the cheese, which is also very important.
Very important.
The turkey burger is juicy, and I would say that it's very important to have a juicy turkey burger because it's so easy for that to get dried out as compared to like a beef burger. This is really good, mixed with the lettuce and tomato and onion.
She's okay. She's taking it all. Well, we are out of time, unfortunately. So, Daria Peace, before we head out to commercial break, what's your favorite? The regular cheeseburger. She was talking up a storm about the Impossible, about the turkey. You know what's my favorite? These fries.
You can have those. I'll have, like I said, all the meats.
I love it. Daria Peace of That Hoboken, thank you so much. We look forward to having you on multiple episodes.
As long as you keep feeding me, I'll be back.
I was going to say, I told you I felt very bad last week. I did, but did I make up for it this week?
You made up for it totally.
I love it. Thanks again. Really.
Thank you.
Matt Hoboken, make sure you follow. All right, folks, we will be right back.
Welcome to Hudson River Care Counseling. Hello, I'm Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, the CEO and founder of Hudson River Care Counseling with over 30 years of clinical social work experience and therapy. We are a progressive counseling and coaching practice with a diverse team that brings a holistic approach to clients. We offer support both in person and through digital platforms such as telehealth. Consider us a safe haven that you can trust with care for your mental health needs. Visit our website to set up a consultation today.
Peter Biancamano, your hostess with the mostest of the Pulse with Peter B. Folks, don't forget to go on our Facebook and our Instagram pages by searching The Pulse with Peter B. and like and follow us on each of those platforms. We're constantly updating those pages with previews of each week's segments and cool stories. Also, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our email address at thepulsewithpeterb@gmail.com.
Welcome back to The Pulse. I'm your host with the most, Josh Sotomayor Einstein, and I'm so glad, that I'm honored to be joined by County Commissioner Anthony Romano. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you very much for the invite, Josh, to you and Peter, and to all the wonderful people that watch this show, and all my constituents. A very healthy and happy and safe upcoming new year here in 2023. We're going through some difficult times, but I'm glad to be here.
Okay, well, we've gone through most of the difficult times. I hear this year's disaster is actually going to be a volcano since we survived a pandemic, but we'll find out what's in the cards. But I'm really glad that you're here, because otherwise I'd be forced to talk to Biancamano, and no one enjoys that. Daria does a really good job pretending that she enjoys it, but no one really likes that. So tell us, Commissioner, what's been going on with the Board of County Commissioners in Hudson County?
Well, obviously, we just got through the holiday season. December was a very hectic month.
The holiday season?
Yes.
What holiday was it? On behalf of the Jewish people, I just like to say,
Happy Hanukkah,
we all
Happy
know
Kwanzaa.
that we're not off for Hanukkah. It's for Christmas, and that's okay, guys.
But, we had a month of a lot of events, a lot of giving to those in need, whether it be toys or food, and during Thanksgiving and the Christmas stretch, ensuring that all our people have enough, things for themselves and for their children. And then we had the lull there between the holidays. And now tonight we had the reorganization meeting. I just came back and changed. I've had the good fortune to be reelected as vice chairman of the Board of Commissioners.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And it's going to be an up and coming year. We're going to have two tough challenges. I'm going to have a primary challenge and then a general election challenge. So my belief is, though, you don't just come to work during election season. And I think that people realize that I work it 365 every day of every year. So
at least, sometimes more, because everybody sees you all across Hudson County, not just in your district, but everywhere at every event, volunteering and donating. And I think it's really appreciated by the people. Well,
the people elected us, and I think humility is the most important trait that one can have, whether it's in the law enforcement profession or in the elected official position. Because we have to remember why we're there. We didn't get put there to feather our bonnets. We got put there to help people and expectations. When much is given, much is expected, as it says in the Bible.
Well, I remember, and I'm sure everybody out there in TV land and across the internet knows that you were in public service before you were elected. You were a cop, and correct me if I'm wrong, you were an educator as well.
Yes, I taught in Hoboken High. As well as being a police officer. I was a young father at that time. And then as I attained rank, I went on to teach at the University of St. Peter's. And then I taught at the Police Academy. And it's a wonderful world when God gives you two professions that you really truly believe in and love.
Oh, that sounds terrific. So what can the residents of Hudson County look forward to as we go and as we travel at the very beginning of 2023, coming out of the county commissioners?
Well, as you well know, Columbus Park is one of the crown jewels of the city of Hoboken, and the county prides itself on our park system. We constantly upgrading it with the newest and latest and safest in play equipment for our children. If you look now, you see the beautiful Christmas tree that's there in Columbus Park. We had wonderful Christmas tree lighting where we had milk chocolate. We had hot chocolate and donuts for the children. It was really a nice thing, and I think that's important. Our schools, our Hudson County Community College is one of the best community colleges in the state of New Jersey, and we're going to continue to grow it with one more facility. We have which I take a lot of pride in, lucky to be involved with the Hudson County Police Academy. We're the most diversified county probably in the United States, and we finally have a law enforcement training center that our law enforcement officers deserve, where we don't have to travel. Our corrections facility is now morphing into a rehabilitation center also. with the reentry program so that those, when they come out of incarceration, are welcomed back into society and can actually be a positive influence and force in society. And there's other things going on. Our county streets are constantly being resurfaced. We're strengthening our Wi-Fi and camera system throughout the county with the parks. So there's a lot of good things happening, and it's good that you asked that. A lot of people want to know what's county government do and exactly what does it do for Hoboken, and I also represent Jersey City. So it's important that people know that and my availability to answer any questions they have.
Well, I think everybody that's ever met you knows that you make yourself available to the people, but in all the wonderful things that you were talking about, and I'm glad you called it a Christmas tree, because when I've talked to Biancamano, he calls it a holiday tree, and I'm like, what holiday is that about?
Well,
I don't know.
We had the Hanukkah lighting up in the county and the city this year, and that's another thing too. I think it's important to recognize all the different cultures that make up this county, and to work together with our municipal governments. I mean, Mayor Baller and his council have worked well with the county government. We're improving those relations, as well as with the state legislators and right up the chain, the federal legislators. Hopefully, Rob Menendez will finally get sworn in.
And in terms of all those wonderful programs, everybody knows that watches the show that I'm a hard-nosed conservative Republican, but something that you said about rehabilitation, about the county jail, pivoting and introducing more rehabilitation. We cannot throw people away just because they make a mistake. And a lot of people on my side of the aisle, which is the right side of the aisle, both correct and that it's right, forget that, yes, we should punish people for doing wrong, but they're going to have to go back into society, and we want them to have the skills to be able to function, to be productive, and so that everybody gets a second chance.
Well, you'll be amazed, Josh, to know what is actually happening at the correctional facility. We just hired a new director who was the former director of Rikers Island, and Becky Scott. I think she's going to do an amazing job. She's brought an energy with a dear friend of mine. We were police captains together, Ed Nestor, who's now a deputy director at the facility. We have Craig Guy, who's going to be running for the county executive position. Craig's another, I feel, dynamic force. Tom DeGeese has done 20 years, and he's done a great job. And I think that the key here is that people know who their officials are in the county level. And you said something before. We've always traditionally worked together for the common good, Republicans, Democrats. And I think we've lost some of that, and hopefully we're going to bring that back. That you can be on different sides of the aisles on issues, but the important thing is to respect one another and do the right thing for the people that we're elected to serve.
Well, that's why we're friends, and you have a lot of Republican friends, and I have a lot of liberal friends, and even some leftist friends, and then there's Peter Biancamano out there in left lunatic fields, but we're still able to be friends, and that's the most important thing, to be able to keep those avenues of communication, to be able to have a drink or get a burger and just hang out and shoot the breeze and not dehumanize each other.
Right, and it's true. It's gotten so nasty on so many different levels, even here in Hoboken at times, and it's just not the right thing to do. We have enough problems going on in society with the epidemic, with so many different tensions. And I think that there's been so much good reform that's happened in the last few years. And the corrections facility, coming back to that, I think that's so positive what you said. We have different programs so they can attain, we just had something they can attain their degree at Hudson County Community College. And those that need help for being incarcerated, not for crime, but for drug offenses due to the fact that they have addiction issues, well, we can give them the help in that area.
Well, County Commissioner, it was a pleasure, and I'm so glad, and I hope you'll come back again and join us again in the future.
It's always an honor, and I hope that Peter Biancamano invites me to a Met game, especially now that it's big with them. So God bless each and every one of you out there. Please continue to guide us. We need you, so thank you.
Well, I don't know why you'd want to hang out with him, but stand by. We'll be right back.
Peter Biancamano back with you. Don't forget to watch us on cable access every Sunday and Monday at 9 a.m. Optimum Channel 18, Files Channel 46, and Comcast Channel 190. Also on Sunday mornings at 9:30 a.m., you can watch our show on our YouTube channel, and you can also binge watch all of our old shows. Who doesn't want to keep watching The Pulse with Peter B? We'll see you there. Welcome back to The Pulse with Peter B. Peter Biancamano back in the host chair, and we are here at the offices of Hudson River Care and Counseling, located at 310 Cedar Lane in Teaneck, New Jersey, and 63A 8th Street in Hoboken, New Jersey. And I'm a little nervous. I don't know if you could tell from my intro here, because I'm sitting with a power couple, and that is, of course, the person to my right needs absolutely no introduction. She's our favorite mental health expert, and that's Dr. Pam Pater-Ennis, founder and CEO here at Hudson River Care and Counseling. Great to see you again.
Thanks, Peter. As always, thank you for having us.
Of course, absolutely. And we're here with, I don't even want to say her better half, just her other half, I should say, and that is her husband, Pastor Mark, author, we're going to call him today, making his Pulse premiere. Pastor Mark, great seeing you. Tell us a little about yourself.
Say a little about myself. I am 38 years ordained in a Reformed Church in America. Don't hold it against me. I had a Catholic high school education.
What tipped you off, Biancamano?
Yes. I'm also, as Pastor Mark, author, tells you, I've authored one book. I'm in negotiations now for my second book. And in my spare time, I do background extra work for movies and television and have a good time.
Well, we could tell from that great fedora that you're wearing there. You make it look so much better than our political analyst, Josh Sotomayor Einstein. I have to tell you, Pastor. I mean, so much better. So today we're going to be discussing, and by the way, Dr. Pam did mention your podcast. I don't know if you want to give that a shout out on the air.
Podcast also is Pastor Mark Cast.
It just rolls off the tongue. Exactly. That's better than The Pulse with Peter B, let me tell you.
Pastor Mark Cast. I've had that going now several months. I started it, early October.
I love that. Absolutely. Make sure you guys go check it out, by the way. Dr. Pam, today we're going to be discussing sanctuary healing. And this is something that we've discussed previously on our show. Just a quick refresher for the audience about what sanctuary healing actually is.
Because I can almost feel my mood change to serious mode, because it's so precious and almost so sacred. It's been, to sound really spiritual right now for a moment, it's something that I and Mark have sort of been working on for the better part of 30 years, I think. And what it is we just sort of branded it, though, in the last year or so with our own Alexandria Tava here, who has been on earlier segments. She actually came up with a name. But it really is a program for people, individuals who've been hurt by the church or by religion. It's not just church, but primarily we're going to speak from a Christian perspective today. Whether they've been victims of clergy abuse, clergy sexual abuse, or they've been in the LGBT community and ostracized, or people who've been wrongly criticized for having mental health issues and even experienced unwanted exorcisms. I could go on and on and on. People who are cult survivors. And it's just, somehow I have a lot of these people in my caseload, and I finally said, they need a support group. And part of the treatment is to do the clinical work, but then to bring in the church part of it. And this is where Mark and I decided last Lent in March, so it's almost a year now, to bring him in to do. We're doing a Wednesday night support group, which if you feel like you need this, you can contact us and we can talk to you about it. It's Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock Eastern time. And it's just an amazing group of people of all ages, races, sexual identities. It's just a very powerful organic group where people are healing. And so I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, no, that's great.
And so it's where I do all the individual work, but then Mark's working to do really exposure therapy with the idea that if you're hurt by the church, Sometimes you have to come back into church to be healed.
So, and Pastor Mark, Dr. Pam brings up a very good point. And by the way, Happy New Year to the two of you.
Thank you.
Yes,
You
yes.
also.
I have my red jacket on.
Exactly, I could tell. And now that the holidays have passed, many people are, I'm sure there's many personal stories regarding, people who have faced this type of trauma, as Dr. Pam mentioned. I was wondering, Pastor Mark, if you could share some of those personal stories and possibly how people are coming back into the church, as Dr. Pam mentioned, exposure therapy.
Well, to lead into that, I want to talk about Christmas cookies. Right? Wasn't that many weeks ago we had Christmas, right? You like Christmas cookies?
Who doesn't?
Well, when I was a little boy, my mom made lousy cookies. They were burnt, they were floury, they were like horrible. Oh, when my daughter was in college, my mother sent her Christmas cookies, and when the frat boys she knew wouldn't even touch these things, you knew they were bad.
I was in a frat. I knew exactly about any food was good food.
That's right, except for my mother's cookies.
Exactly.
And part of healing is
God bless
letting...
your soul.
I was going to say, we don't talk ill of the dead, but apparently... Sorry. go ahead, Pastor.
Part of healing is to point out to people, well, you still eat Christmas cookies, even if you had a bad batch. Okay, you had a bad experience in church. Doesn't mean every church experience is bad. But since frequently abuse came through male clergy, only a male clergy can tell these people that and lead them back in. A friend of mine, Steve, now does volunteer work in orphanages in Vietnam. That's his way of slaying his dragon, because he had a horrible experience in '68 as a soldier in Vietnam. You have to go back in order to heal. And that's what we're doing with My Sanctuary Healing. Acknowledging, yes, what happened to you is not right. Every church isn't like that. Every clergy is not like that. Every Christian is not like that. That's the message for this new year. There are other places, there are other cookies to try.
Dr. Pam, I had no idea where he was going with that story, but that was so beautifully said.
Well, thank you.
He's a good storyteller.
Absolutely. Is there a story that you would like to share?
Yeah, I have a woman who I've been working with a relatively short amount of time. She herself was very involved in a very authoritarian church. A lot of this happens in very strict authoritarian churches where people don't have a voice. And she had been in leadership, and she had marital problems, and she discovered that this particular congregation had layers and layers of sexual abuse, which had gone unaddressed, and she discovered that people were being kicked out because they were gay. She herself is a straight woman. But in the midst of it all, she had some unresolved mental health issues from her own childhood, had developed a substance abuse issue, which she's done really well. She's now in recovery. But in the midst of it, her then husband, who was one of the clergy there, decided to do some unwanted exorcisms on her over and over and over again, forcing her to actually, and I'm sorry, this might be a trigger warning for some people, but forcing her to vomit out the demons and just over and over and over again, to the point where she had no self-esteem left. And of course then that triggered her drinking. A lot of people cope with mental health issues by substance abuse. And long story short, she was able, through the help of some friends and her therapist, to find her way out of this marriage, out of this church, and just has started to come back into wanting to look for church, but scared of it because of what happened to her. So she's just beginning our group in the last few months. And wow, she's an amazing woman with a lot of strength. But she knows she needs community to heal too. That's the other part of the group. Like, it's coming back into church, but it's community and a shared experience that provides hope for healing.
Unbelievable. And you know, unfortunately, we are out of time, but I do want to ask Pastor Mark this. There's always this they say the separation between church and science. But here at Hudson River Care and Counseling, I mean, we have Dr. Pam, who's a clinical therapist, obviously, and like I said, the power couple, where her husband is a pastor. You know, when you hear a story such as this woman who was throwing up the demons, that's not science, but that's not religion either, right or wrong?
No, it is not. I consider that abuse. And if you want to talk religion and science, do you know what Charles Darwin did before he wrote his book?
He was, I believe, in religion, correct?
He was studying
To be a priest.
He was studying to be a priest, and his whole work on Origin of a Species was his attempt to explain how God did the creation that God did. That's the point. Science tells us how God does things, not who.
Pastor Mark, where can people find more information about you? Where are you? Where is your church? You know, I know you mentioned your podcast and so on and so forth. And you're going to look right in that camera to talk to the audience. So.
I pastor the Clinton Avenue Reformed Church in Bergenfield, New Jersey. You may find me on Facebook under Mark Ennis, or you may find me on RSS Podcasts, Pastor Markcast. And I look forward to hearing from you so I can walk with you on your healing journey.
Exactly. And then, of course, the wonderful people here at Hudson River Care and Counseling can be found at hudsonrivercareandcounseling.com. Dr. Pam, if you want to just say the phone number.
Yes, you can call our intake number at 201-541-8600.
Absolutely. Well, Pastor Mark, Dr. Pam, this has been an honor and a pleasure for me, and it's been fun.
I'm honored to. Happy New Year and be blessed.
Happy New Year.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All right, folks, join us next week for The Pulse on everything you need to know. I'm Peter Biancamano. I hope you have a great week, everybody.